Welcome to the Football Show on PLZ Soccer's YouTube channel. I'm Peter Martin. Alan Ruff and Tam McManus are here with me. Thank you very much for joining us, as ever, Monday to Friday on YouTube. All you have to do is hit that subscribe button. You can join the football family. It is, of course, uncensored, unbiased, unmatched, and it's absolutely free. You can also download PLZ Soccer's app, get all the breaking football news, and you can cover that on the website as well. So much on offer from plzsoccer.com, and thank you to so many of you who support us day in, day out, 7 days a week. There's always news there across all our social media channels, and there's always prizes as well.
PLZ Soccer has another fantastic competition for you to enter. For your chances to win this Legia Warsaw Arthur Boric hoodie and the Legia Warsaw pendant, all you have to do is answer this simple question. Which year did Arthur Boric sign for Celtic? Post your answer in the comment section below, and to double your chances of winning, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and join us on PLZ Soccer's YouTube channel. Good luck.
Yeah, good luck with the competition. Lots of football to talk about, and as ever, we always like to throw in a wee quiz question. I think I've got a really good one today, Ruffy. Which team has the most red cards in Champions League history? I just think it's an absolute belter of a question.
It's just Champions League, it's not European Cup, it's just
Champions League history. So
when did the Champions League come into being?
1992, I think, yeah. So give us your thoughts, Tam, and what you think it's going to be.
Atletico Madrid.
Yeah. Tam's gone for that kind of a Spanish aggression on it, Ruffy. Where are you going?
For Barcelona.
I thought you said. I
changed my mind.
All right, okay. Barcelona with the most red cards.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking of some of the defenders they've had, and they're in playing most of the games right up to most of the finals. I'm talking about games. They played more. Than anybody.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
So I'm going to go for
just out of curiosity.
Puyol, whatever his name is.
Puyol.
Puyol was there or thereabouts.
And you think he was?
I think he would be a big culprit.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. That's
probably never the Champions League.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Don Clark says Atletico Madrid. Thomas Lee thinks Real Madrid. So
because Ramos is there.
So it's well worth a guess. A good quiz question. We'll give you the answer at the end. Oh, here's a good one. Andy Lothian, greetings from Sag Harbor in New York. Ruffy, have you been there?
I'm not a New York person. I've not.
No, have you ever been to New York?
No, I've not been. But I've been threatening to go on numerous occasions, but just fell through.
Just out of curiosity.
I played in New York. I played in America.
Did you play in America? Wow, that's amazing. That's got to be a world record. 3 minutes into the programme. My God.
New Jersey, is that near New York?
Yes.
I played in New Jersey with Orlando.
I played there as well, but I was in the car and I had to pull over.
If you is that right? Yeah, good. By the way, not the worst joke ever, and again mentions he's played in America. Can I just say to you, you should go to New York.
I know everybody keeps telling me with the sightseeing and all that.
Hurry up.
Man, you've got the money, just go.
Exactly. I like the sun. I'm not going to be trailing.
Go when it's sunny.
I don't want to be trailing.
Go in the summer.
Shopping and all that stuff. You know?
Yeah. Okay. Errol Campbell says AC Milan. Not a bad shout. Derek says hi from Jakarta, guys. Finish work 20 minutes early now to get back to see if Ruffy will ever get a new pair of shoes. Derek,
still get the sketches.
Well, calm your jets. That's not as bad.
Disgusting.
When we were on, when we started 10 years ago, we had these. We used to GoPro the program, right, with the GoPros, and we used to stream the program. We're doing a radio show, and he would come in with a shirt that he liked, and he'd just wear it for the full week. You wouldn't care
until people started noticing.
Exactly.
So can I tell you, I've been to Jakarta.
You have?
When Partick Thistle won the League Cup, we went on a tour of Jakarta and Kuala Lumpur.
Wow.
It was fantastic. Really enjoyed it.
Okay, well there you are. There's one. At least you're moving in some circles. There's a New York golf course, says Sean Maxwell as well. Surely that's a reason enough for you to get on there.
I played the Ryder Cup there, didn't I?
And also DPG says, Ruffy, there are bars in New York, and I have to tell you, I've been in a good few of them, and they're absolutely fantastic. So there you are. Gregor says, Peter, what was the name of the Italian opposite the Playhouse? Can I tell him you sent me? Absolutely, 100%, Gregor. Just ask for Angelo or Giuliano himself, and just tell him I sent you, and they'll take care of you.
Easter Road?
Right across from the playhouse.
Was it Victoria's, no?
No, Giuliano's.
I went in a fortnight ago with Maggie and the kids, and the man himself was sitting having a meal with the older guy.
Yeah.
He was sitting having a meal with his daughters and that. Really nice guy.
Did you go up and have a chat with him?
Yeah.
Did you tell him I sent you?
No, because I'd known him for the Hibs days.
Yeah?
Get discount?
If you had done, you might have got
a wee limoncello.
Oh, is that right? You might have got a bottle of wine. Sometimes people get a bottle of wine if they say I've said
I just got a limoncello.
I'm not promising Gregor that, but every now and then people go, the boys go. And you know the funny thing about it is, the great thing about the boys is all the Italian restaurants, when I lived there, all the Italian restaurants used to get together for an 11-a-side match on a Monday morning at Meadowbank, and they all used to turn up in their mad Italian gear, the strips, the full kit, none of just a pair of shorts and the top, and they were all into it. They were absolutely fantastic. It was great.
There's a lot of nice Italians in Edinburgh.
Yep, absolutely. Hugh Scott says, Peter, I'm playing PLZ bingo. 2 up so far. Tam playing in America and Ruffy winning the League Cup. Just need you to mention Aidan McGeady and I'll win. I'm happy with that. We'll get to it. Also, Ruth Lambie has sent us a nice message basically saying, can you mention the fact that the Foundation of Hearts has now handed over £15 million to the club? And I think of all the supporter-based ownerships, I think Hearts is certainly the flagship of success.
Yeah, well, I think Hearts were the first, obviously. I mean, I don't know what year it was when it was dire, the administration and everything, and the supporters got together and formed the foundation. And ever since then, they've been a lifeline, for the club, and donating money, collecting money, and doing a lot of other different charities as well. So, yeah, they're the sort of a role model for every other fan-based club. Yeah,
absolutely. Well done to Gary Naismith. He's the League 2 Manager of the Month. I think he deserves tremendous credit. Gary Stennismuir is the club he's now in charge of, and I think he deserves a bit of credit. I like Gary. I've got a lot of time for him.
Yep, good player as well. Gary's played against him a few times at Hearts. No, Stennismuir, I think they were expected to be up there at the beginning of the season. Didn't work out under Stephen Swift, and they got Gary Naismith in around the playoffs again. So, they could still get promoted. They looked as if they were well out it, but they've had a good run under Gary.
Yeah, thanks to Ryan Lindsay, who says, hurry up and chat about Liverpool, Peter. Hey, it's coming. Hey, Ryan, calm your jets, it's coming. And Paul Brady says, I'm waiting on Peter to say he's a good lad. It's up. Bingo. There you are. Bang. Gary Naismith. Chris Wilder, it was late on last night, Ruffy, but he's taken the Watford job, so that rules him out of the Aberdeen scenario.
£1 million for 4 months' work.
Is that right?
We're talking.
£1 million? Yeah. Still doesn't
4 months' work.
Still doesn't beat Jack.
If it gets him up, we get another $1 million.
Does it beat Jack Grealish's deal?
What?
$10 million a year for the new Puma deal for 5 years.
Is it?
Yeah. What's the most you ever earned on a boot deal?
100
quid. 100 quid?
100 quid.
Wow. Okay. And this other one, Ruffy, I wonder what you make of this. Mikey Johnson, he's released a statement. He's switched his allegiance to the Republic of Ireland. I'm delighted to declare for the Republic of Ireland and excited for what my future holds in an Ireland shirt. Myself and my family have always been proud of our Irish roots, with my granddad hailing from Derry, and to potentially play for Ireland is something that really excites me. It's up to me now to impress the manager and to get selected. My focus is to break into that squad and to make an impact for the team in a big year. I've always watched the Ireland matches and the atmosphere always looks incredible. I can't wait to play at the Aviva Stadium and hopefully create some great moments for the team.
Did he have any connection with Scotland through the under-21s, under-20?
I would hazard a guess at this.
His parents were Scottish, but
but I don't know if he had played that many games. Well, obviously it's another criteria. He's not going to get picked for Scotland, and if another country wants you and you're eligible, why not? I don't have a problem. I think there was a big ballyhoo about was it McCarthy?
Yeah.
He decided, but his theory was nobody asked me.
Yeah, well, here's the 6 players who've switched allegiance. There's probably more. Declan Rice to the Republic of Ireland to England. Aidan McGeady, Scotland to the Republic of Ireland. Jack Grealish, Republic of Ireland to England. Riyad Mahrez, France to Algeria. Wilfried Zaha, England to the Ivory Coast. And Lucas Podolski, Poland to Germany. And as you've just mentioned there, McCarthy as well.
James McLean, Northern Ireland to Republic of Ireland. James was capped all the way up to, I think, under 21s with Northern Ireland and went to Republic. But just going back to that, I know Stephen Kenny's been watching Mikey Johnson for a long time. He spoke to me about him. Stephen plays with 2 wingers, loves wingers. You know, he plays with them, whatever club he's been at and Ireland, he plays with 2 wide men. And I think Mikey fits all the criteria for Stephen being an attacking winger.
See, any time Mikey Johnson got a chance with Celtic, I always thought he looked as if he was going to do something. I always thought
his end product for me wasn't good enough.
Yeah, but when he came on,
he was exciting to watch at times.
Won a couple of semi-finals and finals, and I mean, he's a player, you know. But it just didn't materialise.
Well, to be fair to the boy, he picked up an injury and he was out for a while. And when he came back, he had a couple of games where he just couldn't get back to the heady heights of what he was achieving, that potential that you're talking about. I think he will come on to a game. I think he's got something to offer, whether it's at Celtic or not. I'm not sure. I don't think so. I think he'll move somewhere else, but I definitely think he's got a good career ahead of him.
No, I think he's a good player, but he has to get away from Celtic. He has to go and play 100, 150 games for someone. He's still relatively young. I think he's only 21, 22 years old. He's still got time, but he's got to get away from Celtic. He's got to go and play somewhere, whether that's abroad or somewhere in Britain. But he played in the League Cup final against Hibs last season, the one where Kyogo scored the 2 goals, and it caused Hibs a lot of problems. But when he got to the byline, his end product, he was hitting it over the bar. His cutback was to Hibs player. He's got something, but he's got to improve his end product.
It's quite ironic now. There's a manager at the club that he's playing at who loves wingers.
Yeah,
you know, he loves the way he lives.
Well down the pipe,
I know, but you would have thought, if he'd reached the potential, that I thought he had, he would be a stick-on for that Celtic team, but he's obviously not reached the level that he needs to get to.
Yeah, well, he's still to come back off loan and somebody to make a decision. I think he would be ideal for him, to be honest with you. I think they were sniffing about him the last time around. Scottish Premiership fixtures. Here's what's on offer tonight. We'll quickly digest them, because obviously by the time the programme goes out later on right across the globe, lots of people will know exactly what the scores will be. Celtic Hearts, Hibs Rangers, Livingston against Dundee United. I say rather ominously, Ruffy. Celtic at home, 13 home league games undefeated. They've won them all. And have a listen to this. This is Ange Postecoglou. Looking at the squad he has, he wants it to be even stronger for, obviously, after the summer, getting ready for the group stages of the Champions League if they win the league this year.
Yeah, Champions League football takes a lot out of you physically, mentally, and our league form would have suffered if we didn't have a strong squad. We need to keep building on that and making sure that, whilst at the moment it may look like, it's a bit of a luxury that we've got so many good players in the building, it won't be long, and hopefully next year when the league starts again, we've got European football, that we're going to require a stronger squad.
Yeah, that is the key issue there. It's quite simply that double half that I was talking about. First half, Celtic and Rangers and every other Scottish club sometimes can be judged harshly because they're not at the certain levels they need to be in the particular European tournaments they're in, but he is clearly geared up for getting a squad capable of converting those chances that they missed out on last season.
Yeah, I think he'll be hurting with the amount of criticism he got in certain games. Yeah, they did particularly well against Real Madrid, but the style of football is attacking, it's entertaining, but at the end of the day they were bottom of the group, and they didn't do particularly well in Europe. So for him, being the manager of the club, we'll see where he needs to get them to. And so far, any time he's made a decision to bring somebody in, excuse me, he's been very good. So I think the Celtic supporters should be excited by the kind of player he thinks needs to bring in to get them to another level in Europe.
You can understand. We're looking at some of the players that he thinks he'll be heading out the door, and he'll clearly want to bring in. I think if Celtic are going to do something, they need a striker. somebody that can actually go and really, I don't know how much that person costs. It certainly doesn't cost the money that Celtic I want to splash out. And then over and above that, I don't know where you think the real priority lies. I always think if they could unearth a number 10 of creative genius, then
I'm going to throw one at the works. I think Celtic need a goalie. I think the goalkeeper, Joe Hart. I've not been particularly impressed with Joe Hart this season. I thought first season I thought he was good. This season, no. I think Celtic need to improve their goalkeeping options. So there's one. I don't think Celtic can afford to buy a striker that's going to guarantee you goals. I think they've got to hope that Kyogo's learned from last season, mistakes and chances he missed, that he can go and improve and be better and score goals this season. Same with Maeda, Jota. They've got the experience of the Champions League now. But I think if you're looking for one big upgrade for Celtic, I think it would be goalkeeper.
Okay, interesting one. Do you buy into that, Ruffy?
Yeah, I can see where he's coming from. I mean, I don't get to all the games. I know a lot of the boys that I play golf with and that are on the same thought of Tam. There are some games he makes rash decisions, rash mistakes. He still makes a big save. I give him credit for that. In big games he can make the big save, but he is getting on a wee bit. Possibly if there is somebody out there, but it's a hard one. You'd have to start throwing names at who are better than him.
And Marcus has done well on loan. Can we bring him back?
Yeah, no, he is coming back, by the way.
Is he back?
I know you're being sarcastic, but he is coming back. Paul Martin says, Celtic don't play with a 10, Peter. No, you're absolutely right, Paul. It's about time they did. I like a 10, Ruffy. I like somebody who's got a
when you look at Celtic, they don't play a style for a 10. They play with McGregor. Well, I think McGregor is a sort of a 10. He dictates the play.
I actually
but he's not got enough goals for me, to be a 10.
I think he's more of a 6'8". Do you know what I mean by that? I don't want to get caught up in
play
numbers.
anyway, but Celtic play with three in the middle, don't they? They rotate.
Yeah.
One drops off, one goes forward. They're very, very fluid in the middle of the park, but they're not going to change, I don't think. And he plays with a 4-3-3 and he plays with two wide men, the main striker, and he gets his full backs forward. So
I like a 10 of my old school.
Yeah, but that's kind of that's a 10 in behind two strikers. That's like Georgie Hadji or somebody like that. Yeah.
If you've got a 10 and it's a really good 10, it's magnificent. And I'm going to mention a name that you'll agree with.
All right.
I'm not saying he could fit into the Celtic team, but a 10 like Modric, somebody like that who dictates the play, somebody who controls everybody. He's everywhere in the park. He's making himself available. But how much is that going to cost you for somebody? Not like him, but a player that kind of style. To
be fair, when he eventually maybe gets out of contract at Real Madrid, he'll be 42. I'd still take him, Tam, would you?
I think he's still running walk in Scotland.
I was just about to say, he could walk into any side in Scotland.
He's never really been pacey, it's never relied on. It's just his brain. He can take the ball in tight areas.
Absolutely.
His touch, his awareness.
And you're always able to tell if he's signed a boot. Because you know how sometimes these people go, we've got a signed boot from Messi. If you've ever got a signed boot from Modric, the instep is spanking brand new and the outside of it must be worn in and you'll be able to see his sock from inside it.
He's a wonderful footballer, and that's why I put him in my all-time 11.
Yeah.
We've done an all-time 11 last year.
That's right. You did, Tam.
I just think there's no many better centre midfield players than him.
Well, that time when we were over in Real Madrid watching... if you just watched him, never watched where the ball was or anything like that, just watched him, his movement, how he made himself available for anybody stuck in a tight corner, anybody that didn't have a pass. He was there, he was the outlet, and then he would build for there. It was fantastic to watch him.
Yeah, James says Modric would walk it in the SPFL. James, you're absolutely right. He'd have the cigars out. He could play for any one of them. And if they didn't play with a 10 and Modric arrived, you're playing with a 10. It's as simple as that. Okay, I think we all opted for a Celtic win against Hearts tonight. Maybe not as emphatically as some, but did you go for a Hearts win?
Yeah, I never went.
A Celtic win, sorry?
Yeah, I did. I know Hearts done one at the weekend, but I thought St Johnstone caused them a bit of a problem. I thought there were stages in that game if the goalkeeper had made important saves, St Johnstone would have been in that game. All right, eventually they did win, but I thought the 3-0 was a bit flattering.
Yeah.
But I mean, if they turn up with the performance that they did against Rangers, they're going to get run over the top.
It'll be interesting to see how, I'll tell you who I do like. I like Robert Snodgrass. You see sometimes if certain clubs in Scotland right across the board, I love to see them get, I was so excited when Hibs got McGeady. And equally so when Hearts said they were bringing Snodgrass back. If you can get somebody who has been over the course, just that wee bit of experience, and maybe in the twilight of their career, but they pass on that ability to say, look, this is how I do it. 5, 10 yards, 15 yards, look for a diagonal when it's right, when it's on. All of these little things, it's a joy to watch. There's more kids and more fans look and think, that was great today. They go away talking about them. If you get that wee bit of special sprinkling of gold dust.
Yeah, you need them, and obviously you're not going to get them in this league. Both of them have played at the highest level, in England and in Europe. So you're not going to get them until they're 34, 35, come at the end. If they're still fit and they're still hungry, then they're going to improve your team. Snodgrass is a really good player, but he's going to be up against it tonight against that Celtic midfield. Yeah. I think with him and Cam Devlin, Celtic's midfield are tremendous, whether they keep the same team, whether they keep the three or they make changes. They've obviously a big cup tie coming up at the weekend. They might rest a couple. So
is there any is there an equal amount of effort you put in on that, or will Robbie Nielsen be looking and thinking, oh, wait a minute, the big one's Tynecastle?
I think if the game's away from them, if it's...
You can't get spanked at Celtic Park and then try and lift it.
But I think it's a totally different game at Tynecastle. It's a totally different game. I think if Celtic are cruising 2 and 3-0 up, I think he'll look to the weekend. But I think as long as they're in the game, he'll keep his strongest team. But I think Celtic can afford to make 2 or 3 changes and still be strong. Strangely
enough, Celtic and Rangers both at Tynecastle provided us with 2 of the best games I've seen this season, Ruffy.
Yeah, certainly. I think Laura Shankland got a hat-trick, didn't he?
Yeah,
in the first one, but it was an exciting game, and generally when you get good teams like that and there's goals involved as well, it makes it even better. So I can't see a 4-3 tonight at Parkhead, so I think it'll be a good game. I think Hearts will make it as tight as possible for as long as possible. But I think at the end of the day, I think Celtic will wear them down.
Okay, Rangers are in the capital to face Hibs. This one always has a wee bit about it. And I suppose it's congratulations, 100 days in charge of Rangers for Michael Beale. It's amazing now, we absolutely obsess over certain stats. We're talking about 100 games for Ange, it's 100 games for Michael Beale in charge. Played 16, won 14, drawn 1, lost 1.
Yeah, listen, I think the only blip there is the cup final. I think he's been pretty consistent. At the start of his reign, I thought they were lucky a couple of times to win the games, particularly one at Aberdeen, where they should never have won that game, but they did. And I think that gave them confidence. He was still trying to find his feet, trying to find his best team, and I think he knows that now. I think he knows his best team now, and they'll come into Edinburgh tonight and they'll look to try and win the game again. But as you said, there's always a different edge. Ruffy's played in this fixture, I've played in this fixture. There's always a different edge when Rangers roll into town at Easter Road. You can feel it amongst the supporters. Yeah. You can feel it in the dressing room. You lift your game. You know it's a big game. The fans are up for it. I think there'll be a full house there tonight. I'm expecting Hibs to put in a performance tonight. And I don't think either side, Tim. I don't think either side have any time for Celtic or Rangers. I think they really, certainly. No. Certainly, my mates actually. Celtic Rangers. No, they've no time for them. They've no time for anyone. But when Celtic, and particularly Rangers, roll into town, if it's Hibs, then you just get an extra feel about it, and there's usually fireworks in this game. There's an interesting stat there that Hibs haven't beat Rangers at home in the Premier League since 2006. Yeah. 17 years, so they're overdue a win against Rangers. I think they beat them in the Championship when both were down the league a little bit. So no, I think that Hibs, if they turn up and play well tonight, they're well capable of getting a result. But you've seen the Rangers' performance at Tynecastle, that they are capable of performing well as well at a high level. But I don't think that Hibs will make the same mistake as Hearts made. Hearts were very aggressive, going and pressing Rangers, and Rangers picked them off. I think Hibs will be a little bit more cagey in terms of going and attacking Rangers and picking the right moments.
Yeah, I thought it was a nice touch. I was reading today. Just interestingly, what do you make Malcolm McPherson?
Yeah, I know Malcolm well.
Executive chairman.
Yeah, I know Malky was. I think he was the chairman when I was there. I know him well. I was usually in his office, him and Rod. So he knows the club inside out. He's obviously coming in as a non-executive chairman, and I think he'll do a great job in there. They've obviously had to reshuffle it a little bit, but Malcolm knows what's required at Hibs, and he's got the club at heart, so I think that's a good appointment.
Yeah, and the other part I was reading was Chris Cadden's interview, and he basically said that the great thing about Ron Gordon is, yes, he had Hibs at heart, but he was also aware of the players, whether they were there with their wives or their family, and he would come over and talk to them and just add that personal touch as well. You know, where he could have been hobnobbing it with someone that he might have thought was offering some kind of influence at the club. He was so attentive to the fact that he had players there and he wanted Hibs to do well. And I think sometimes you only find out about these things, about so many people who care for clubs. You only find out about it when it's, you know, sadly for Ron, when he's no longer with us.
Yeah, the things have moved on in the game now. I don't like Tam was in his era, but I mean, if I went on a team bus with Thistle way back in the 70s, 80s, I wouldn't have known the five guys sitting at the front of the bus, because you never met the directors. They never spoke to you. You wouldn't even have known their names. You know, but things have moved on since then. Now they make themselves available, and sometimes you can become friends with them. When I was at Hibs, Kenny Walk was very good. You know, he came down and seen the players and everything. And I think Ron's just moved it on a bit more. You know, if he's really taking part in with your family and knowing your kids' names, and I think that's just fantastic at a club. Because I think sometimes directors sort of alienate themselves for the players. I don't know I'm not saying all clubs are like that, but I think directors shouldn't just turn up at a game and have the wee bit of hospitality bit and enjoy it and then go away. I think they should make an effort to be part of the team and know the players and chat to the players. It's good if the players know who the directors are.
Yeah,
you know, because it's a team.
If he'd done that at Thistle, he would go and introduce yourself to the players' wives all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. That was one of the key elements of his job. Anyway, that's 3 gags in the one show. This is unheard of, by the way. It's fantastic. He's just on a roll at the moment. You really should do some after dinner speaking. I think you'd be good at it. Anyway, so Yuan, 5 goals, 5 games. We were talking about him earlier. He's probably the one guy that suddenly Hibs fans are thinking, oh, he can do a ton. He's got good skill, Ruffy.
He has got good skill, and as Tam keeps telling us, he's been waiting ages to see this skill. But he's scoring goals now, you know. But again, you know, and you can't take any away from Hibs. They're winning games, but I think you've got to look at who they're winning the games against, because Rangers are a different kettle. You know, Rangers have got better players than all the other teams that Hibs are beating. So it's going to be a massive challenge. But as the Hibs manager said, they'll go out there and hopefully give themselves justice. I think that would be maybe getting a draw. I don't know about Tam, what he's decided. Yeah. I don't think they're capable enough of beating Rangers. I think Rangers have got far too many good players.
Yeah, I think you're right, Ruffy. I've got Rangers just to edge it, but I'm looking, and you know, I know Cholak has been commenting on the last 24 hours. He wants to play regularly. He scored 15 goals. I mean, Morelos has only got 10 this year, and I noted down Roof's got 2, Kent 3.
And that's the difference. That's why they're miles behind Celtic. You look at Celtic's numbers, their wide men get plenty of goals. You know, Kent's 3 goals for the ability he's got. You know, that's really poor. Roof's obviously had a lot of injuries. Morelos even 10 goals is not great. Cholak, obviously you give him the benefit of the doubt, he's been out injured for a while, but I do think that tonight, you know, as we know, there was a few sendings off in the last game of the road. It's a powder keg fixture. You know, I've been sent off in this fixture before as well. You can get caught up in it.
Yeah.
And
why do you get caught up in it? Because of there's not the same hatred as Celtic and Rangers.
There is an edge. There is a hatred. There is a hatred there.
Yeah.
I think there is. Listen, I think that both clubs, both sets of players, can get caught up in it, in the atmosphere. And you know, you only have to look at some of the fixtures in the past. You know, I played in a fixture with 3 men sent off. Ruffy played in the one where Souness get sent off. You know, even going all the way back then, you know, there's been a lot of sendings off in this fixture. And
why did you get sent off?
I get sent off because Ulrich Lawson, who's centre half, handballed the ball on the line, get sent off, and I didn't agree with it and called Mike McCurry something that I shouldn't have, and got sent off, and put my hands on him. So I was rightly sent off, but. There is that element in this fixture, and as I said, two men sent off for Rangers in the fixture in August. So I think, you know, you've got to keep 11 men apart tonight, first and foremost.
And I'm looking at it, Ruffy, and I'm saying to myself, a big week ahead for Rangers, because if they can again continue, this is one of those nights where you're you're constantly wondering, okay, if Rangers are taking care of business at Easter Road, then the fans start to think about what's happening at Celtic Park, or Hearts putting up a fight, just to see. I mentioned to some of the people in our office today, if Rangers were suddenly just to capitalise on one game where there's a win for them and a slip up for Celtic, the whole thing suddenly creates a huge buzz again, because they'll start to believe.
Start to play each other twice.
Yeah.
If they can get it down, to management, even 7 points. If Celtic were to drop a point.
7 points not good enough.
Yeah, but even 6-7 points, and you think about you can beat Celtic. I just don't see it, but I know there is still that glimmer of light with Rangers fans thinking, if Celtic drop anything, we can win every game, but don't see it happening.
Yeah,
I don't see Rangers win the night. I think Hibs will get a point.
I think going down to 6 points is just believing that you can do it. I think it gives you hope that the games that are coming up. But when we get to the split, there's 15 points at stake. The better teams, you would like to think, are all playing against the two big ones. You would like to think they've got aspirations of getting into Europe. So you would think their games would be actually tight. But I would think it would have to be less than 6 to go into that split.
Yeah, I love sometimes when we get something that's got a bit of, emotion and is charged up in here, we always get some good messages. People think we won't read them out. Gordon McLean says, Souness was set up.
Yeah, it was set up.
Yeah?
He was set up because somebody in the Rangers team told him that Stuart Beattie was going to have him because it was his first game. And unfortunately for Graham, he mistook
George McCluskey
for Stuart Beattie. So I think he got the wrong person. But I have to say, I'll never forget the studs in the back of George McCluskey's legs. That there was 5 holes in the back of his leg.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
just the 5? A couple of these studs must have slipped.
And I remember after the game, we had a wee hospitality thing up there, and Terry Butcher and Graham Souness were up there, and I went up for a drink. And I said, that was a bit much, that one, to Graham, and he went, what? 5 studs, come on.
Yeah. The other one here is Jimmy Duff says, tell the truth, McManus. You've been sent off against the Jers, you were never good enough. So Jimmy's just got it in the neck for you. Jimmy doesn't like you. I can sense that from his set. One sentence can give me an insight into it.
Did you generally
did score 4 or 5 against them, so maybe remembers them.
Did you generally get sent off when things weren't going well? Were you that kind of player that just, I can't be bothered?
Yeah, we were 3-0 down at the time, so maybe that's something to do with it. And I get sent off in a Dundee derby when we were 2-1 down, so maybe it was a bit of petulance.
Yeah, frustration, absolutely. Or it's maybe, as Jimmy mentioned there, you're just not good enough. By the way, really good news, and I really do hope he escapes the injuries. John Suter and Yilmaz, I think, played a half in the B game against Celtic, so it'd be great if John Suter could get back, because I think Rangers fans might realise if he stays clear of injury that they've got a footballer in their hands.
It's a horrible one, because he's now in a position he's got to go out and prove to everybody that he can be injury free and he can be as good a player as what we all thought he was. I thought he was our next Scotland centre half for years to come, and obviously all these things happened to him. So it's a big challenge for him to get back to where he was. I think Rangers will look after him very, very slowly to get him back to where he was. But I think they actually see him as one of the centre halves, whether it's beside Golson or whatever. So yeah, we like to see players coming back after a long injury, and I hope he stays away, because it's a horrible thing. I mean, I never picked up any injuries, but it's a horrible thing if you're the kind of player who knows you're going to be up in the treatment room for 6 or 7 months at a time. It must be devastating.
Rangers to win tonight?
Yeah, I think Rangers will. Well, again, they'll have to grind it out. I think Tam's right. The Hibs players will have a bit between their teeth. So I've went Rangers 2-0.
I don't know. Have you noticed that over the last 6 months you've gone into that kind of what I call BBC mode, when you've started to use 3,000 words where 30 would do? What's happening with you?
Comfortable 2-0, or is that a hard fought?
Is that a hard fought? Oh, it's a hard fought.
It's a goal early on and hanging on. Hibs throw a in, that's it, and a goal about 10 minutes to go.
Okay, there you are. Well, we got there in the end, Tom.
I'm going to go for 2 each. I think Hibs are capable of getting a point. I do.
Oh, is that right?
I think they've got the bit
I like
between
when
the
you
teeth.
do that, because that means you can come back on Friday and people can. By the way, Jimmy can come out and leather you.
I think Hibs can get a point tonight. I do. I think they can get at Rangers. I think they've got plenty of options in the forward areas. They've got a bit of confidence behind them. Big crowd there. I think the discipline is going to be key. I think if you can keep 11 men in the park, I think there might be a red card tonight as well.
I hope there's no trouble in that corner. If any Rangers player goes over there for a corner or a throw in, I really hope the security.
Yeah, because that's where the Hibs ultras are.
Well, the last time I was there, they were throwing lighters
I hope
and
the
everything.
security, the police and the security are wise to it, and they actually reinforce that area, because it's just bad for the game.
Yeah.
It's bad for Hibs as a team.
I think I've got the answer here about this, because Danny says, do you know what, Peter, it's ever since Ruffy got that MBE, he thinks he's a class above everybody now. I think you're right, Danny. I mean, this is what's happening, you know. We've got the Gagmeister on the right hand side and of course Royalty on the left hand side now, and it's just delusions of grandeur. It's as simple as that. What about Dundee United and Livingston? It's at Livingston. They're on a bad run, Ruffy, and suddenly after all the praise we've been giving them, they can't find a win, and they could be, as Davy Martindale said last week, we're looking and wondering, we could be getting dragged down the way.
Yeah, I don't think they'll get dragged down that amount, but I thought Dundee United against Aberdeen were okay up to 80 minutes, and I think if you'd blown the whistle at 80 minutes, they'd have taken the one each, because it was something to build on. But obviously we get a wee special goal, and you know, at the end the heads were down again, so I think they're capable enough to go in there and getting something. I can't see them winning, but I think as you said there, Livingston, aren't they, firing in all cylinders? Big Anderson and all them, you know, I've went off the boil a wee bit, so I think I went for one each.
Here's a question for you. Stephen Fletcher said something which I thought, what an interesting observation. He says it doesn't feel as if Dundee United are going to get relegated. He's played in a few relegations. Well, I'm just about to say, you know, he's talking about it. He said I think he played at Wolves and he played Burnley, and you know, and he's been involved in relegation battles in Sunderland, and he didn't feel as if they were going to get relegated, and they managed to escape. And he has the same feeling at Dundee United. Do you know what he's talking about?
Yes, I think when you get into a club and you can tell if the dressing room's still there, if it's still fighting for the manager, still fighting for the cause. And Stephen obviously feels that. I've been in dressing rooms before where I've thought we've not got enough in here to stay up, and we've went down. So this is a massive game for Dundee United.
That's an admission, isn't it? Looking around the dressing room and going, the guys aren't they good enough?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. But that's what you do. That's what you do.
When you get to a club, a couple of times I signed for clubs halfway through the season, and you go in and you're bottom of the league, and you think, I've made the right decision here.
Yeah.
You know, but you just feel that. But I think that this is a massive game for Dundee United. This is their game in hand. Livingston are in poor form at the minute. They've got to go and get something tonight, and this is the game where, when you're down there, your Kilmarnock players, your Ross County players will be desperate for Livingston to get a result, to keep Dundee United down there, and the boost that Dundee United will get from a win tonight would be unbelievable to get themselves back in the pack. They've got to get something out of the game. I think I went for a draw in this game, but I think it could go either way, to be honest.
Fair play to Davy Martindale. He's managed to get Nubly and Montagna on extended deals for the year. That's because there was a little clause in their contract that he could extend it by a year, and he's managed to activate that. So that's two good players he's got there. But Nubly scores goals for him, creates havoc. Montagna was starting to score goals and picked up an injury, but still two good players.
Yeah, and I think he's realised now in his interviews that he's going to lose players that can't keep a hold of them. So he's obviously got the two of them in and said, look, I want you to take this extension, but trust me, if any bids come in for you, we're the kind of club that need to take it. So the reassurance for the players is then, I've got a manager, you know, who I don't mind signing another year as long as that's the way it's going to go, because we've seen it on numerous occasions where some players have been promised a move and then the move comes in and they say, no, well, you're not getting it, and then they throw the dummy out the pram.
Yeah.
So it depends on the individual.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I think I've got Livingston just to edge it.
I've got one each.
Yeah.
I think I went a draw as well.
Yeah, okay. Scottish Cup quarter-finals coming up over the weekend. You're watching PLZ Soccer's YouTube channel. Don't forget, If you hit the subscribe button and hit the bell, you'll get all the notifications of when we are on. And over and above that, not just the football show. Kerry does the Scottish Premiership preview show. We've got the news every day across our social media channels. We've got breaking news on our app as well, and you can watch the programme on there as well as enjoy all of our unique video content. Lots of great one-to-ones, lots of great features as well as competitions, which we'll give you a little later on. Scottish Cup quarter-finals this weekend, certainly looking forward to it. 4 tasty ones spread across the weekend. Inverness, Kelly, Hearts versus Celtic, Rangers, Wraith Rovers and Falkirk Ayr United. And Kerry Pollock, our reporter, was heading down to Rugby Park as they prepared for that big quarter-final on Friday.
We're just a few days away from Kilmarnock's game against Inverness, Cally Thistle in the Scottish Cup this week. Derek McInnes' side can take a great deal of motivation from their last visit to Hampden in January. The Kelly boss knows that their league form needs a lot of work, but he's fully focused on grabbing this opportunity in the Cup with both hands.
It doesn't do any harm, a cup run, I think the cup's the cup, the league's the league. If we can navigate this, get to a semi-final at the minimum in this cup, if we can get a couple of semi-finals and keep the club up this season, that'd be seen as a decent campaign. But the league stuff's put to the side at the minute. We've got work to do in the league, and there's no doubt about that. But for now, we've got to really enjoy the opportunity. There's loads of clubs sitting doing nothing this weekend who would love the opportunity we've got, and it's important we try and take that.
Midfielder Liam Polworth says that if they're able to get themselves to 2 semi-finals this season, then hopefully the league form will improve.
Anytime at the start of a season, if you can get to 2 semi-finals in like major competitions in Scotland, it's obviously a massive achievement. We know that our league form hasn't been good enough over the course of the season, but if we can put 2 semi-finals together and then hopefully our league form will take care of itself towards the back end, it'll be a massive achievement.
It all takes place in Inverness this Friday night. Will Kilmarnock get themselves to Hampden once again, or will Inverness pull off another cup upset?
Yeah, Billy Dodds will be hoping that is the case. If you ask Derek McInnes, quite simply, the real priority is keeping them in the division. The cup is just I think a welcome release for them at the moment. Yeah,
I think any club that gets a semi-final, it's a magnificent week building up to it for the players and the supporters. The pressures of the league are out the window. There's the hope, that you might get your final. But they're going to be Inverness. Inverness have been in and out this year, but again, Billy Dodds will be talking about Kilmarnock's away for them, and it doesn't matter who you're playing, you've got to sort of put that to bed. So the pressure for me is all on Kilmarnock up at Inverness, and I think Inverness will give them a game. They're starting to get some players back, Inverness, so that'll be a good one to keep your eye on. Okay, I'm going to give you the 4 and then you can agree or disagree, okay? My 4 to reach the semi-final. Did they go no replays? No replays. Right, okay. Straight. Okay. Extra time penalties. Right, good. Inverness, Celtic, Rangers and Falkirk. I would go for maybe the 3 and I'd maybe go Ayr United. After Ayr United winning last night, I think that'll give them a bit of confidence. Tam, where are you going?
Ayr United.
Ayr United, yeah?
Ayr United to beat Falkirk.
Wow.
Celtic to beat Hearts. Kilmarnock to beat Inverness. And Rangers to just sneak by Wraith Rovers.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, there you have it. You just mentioned there, good win for Ayr last night. Right out of the blue. I didn't see that. I don't think anybody saw it coming. I don't think Dougie Emery saw it coming either. Morton on a really, really good bit of form. Ayr United had dipped a wee bit, as you would expect. They've had a really fantastic season. So yeah, it's thrown a bit of spanner into the works for a lot of people, because nobody thought that. And I was trying to work out for obviously my club, Partick Thistle, whether it was a good one or a bad one. If Morton had the one that they'd have went further ahead. So I think the Ayr United winning maybe suits Partick Thistle because they've got Morton on Saturday. They're the only championship game this week, so it's a massive game. There'll be a massive crowd as well there.
Queen's Park have got a great opportunity.
Yes.
Their next 3 games are 3 home games. Cove Rangers, Inverness and Arbroath. They have got a chance to. They've got a chance to go miles clear if they win the 3 games. Because all the rest of the teams play against each other. Dundee play Partick Thistle in their next game. So
the unfortunate thing, Tam, is they're not at home. They're at Stenhouse.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like a home. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Jason says Celtic, Rangers, Ayr and Killie. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's great because you get a chance to look at them and you think to yourself, you're a wee gambling man. Have you put anything on the 4 quarterfinals?
No. But it'd be great if it was a Celtic, Rangers, United, Kilmarnock semi-final. I was part of the last United Kilmarnock semi-final, where I think Dean Shields scored in extra time.
Yeah.
And I think that was the season. Kilmarnock won it.
Yeah.
They beat United in the semi-finals.
It's the one time again, Ruffy, where when you look at the semi-finalists, I think they're actually hoping if Celtic and Rangers get past their opposition, then all well and good. But they'll be hoping that the sponsors for a Hampden final, Celtic and Rangers again, to cap off the end of the season.
Yeah, but the other teams won't be.
Yeah, I know that. He's just said that.
Yeah, the other teams will really, hope that they're drawn together because get to a final as well. I don't think Kilmarnock's a small club, but for the others, it'd be absolutely amazing to get there.
Yeah. What about that result last night for Dunfermline? 2-0 against Falkirk. James McPake heading back up again, I think. Yep.
Yeah.
8 points clear.
Yeah, I think so. I think they're doing particularly well this year. I mean, Falkirk still believe that they could maybe close the gap, but I think everything looks as if it's going to favour Dunfermline, and we spoke about it. Dunfermline and Falkirk shouldn't be in that league. You look at the attendance, 8,000 people at a game.
Yeah.
I mean, there's 2 teams in the Premiership.
More than that, there was nine and a half.
There's 2 teams in our Premiership couldn't get that. So it's what you bring to the table. I'm not saying they shouldn't be there because they don't have a big crowd. It's not their fault.
Yeah.
But Dunfermline and Falkirk should definitely be up the leagues.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also, we can edit that out. I also include Partick Thistle in that. I think Partick Thistle I always consider a Premier League team. Champions League, boys, the team need a win. There was a moment last night where Graham Potter, I'm told, was just sitting with his head down, hoping that Kai Havertz would score the retaken penalty for Chelsea to win 2-0.
Yeah, it's a massive result for them. It really is. I mean, to beat Dortmund, who are I think joint top in the Bundesliga at the minute, it's a big result for them. And they've got the quality to win the Champions League. Chelsea, there's no doubt about that for me. I know they've been off the boil, but I mean, I looked at their team last night. What a team they've got!
Yeah.
So I think the Champions League is open this year, so they'll look for a favourable draw. And Benfica spanked Bruges. I think Scott Parker get the bullet. So
he sacked 12 games in charge. That's the norm now for managers, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. It's crazy.
I think Benfica are another team who are flying. They're a very good team as well. So
12 games in charge, Tam.
It's
what
shocking.
can you expect to do?
No, it's shocking. But as I said, at that level, but these managers on the ball, they'll get a big payoff, and they'll sit and they'll get a job somewhere else. He'll get a job somewhere else in the Championship.
Absolutely. But how many times can you stand in the dugout with 3 stripes on your cardigan?
He likes that designer jumper, doesn't he?
He does.
£5 shot.
Absolutely. And to be fair, he's got the build that he can get away with that. If I had 3 stripes on a big cardigan, I'd just get slaughtered by a wee Ruffy. My mates would hammer me. So they wouldn't be hanging about with me, to be perfectly honest with you. But of course, it was a big win. Chelsea 2, Dortmund 0. Chelsea through into the next round. And of course, Graham Potter breathes a sigh of relief. And I think he rates that win last night as certainly one of the top ones in his managerial career.
To win a game, to go into the last 8 of the Champions League, you'd have to say it's up there in terms of wins and evenings in my career, for sure. And then I watched the first penalty, and that didn't work so well. So I thought I'd look at the floor and just wait for the crowd to make a noise, and thankfully they did.
Yeah, absolutely, and they did make a noise to suggest that he'd scored it, although referees have a look and all the Dortmund players must be pig sick rushing into the box.
And it's consistency again, it's consistency. I mean, the other one as well, when there's penalty kicks, there's a what is the guy behind the goal? Is he the 4th official? Is he the 5th official? When there's penalty kicks get taken, he's supposed to be in line and watching the goalkeeper, not diving, and they never pull them up. The goalkeepers always dive early.
Well, what are you caring about? You're a goalkeeper, you should be backing
I think
them.
you should be diving early. There should be no holes barred. If you're getting a free kick for 12 yards, the goalkeeper should be allowed to do whatever he wants.
I agree.
He can't do whatever he wants. Well, we could just come up and stand right in front of the ball.
He's got it. When he's running up, he can. I don't mind him jumping a couple of yards off his line.
Who was it used to say that? You're taking that too far.
Yeah, absolutely.
Somebody said that.
I'm quite happy I'm quite happy for guys goalkeepers to jump on the line and come across.
Jump and move if they want.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, I don't mean.
As long as you give him a big yard, Grace.
Can I ask you this? If Benfica Bruges, and it was, Benfica been really impressive.
I watched a wee bit of
Are they
them.
an outside bet?
They are. They were, I think, 900 to 1 outsiders, and now about 25 to 1 now. Benfica, very, very good team. Dismantled Bruges last night. I think it was 7-0 in aggregate. So again, Benfica, Napoli. Teams like that have got a chance. They really have, because I don't think there's any outstanding candidate this season to win it. Somebody you think, they're a certainty. It's wide open this year.
Yeah, I like Alan Woods, who clearly, Alan, used a wee bit of exaggeration. Well done, Chelsea. You've only spent £100 billion.
As I said,
I'm not a Chelsea fan. I know what Alan's saying. I don't like them as a club.
The boy they signed for Benfica, Enzo for Argentinian boy, was brilliant last night. I watched the first half.
Yeah.
They've got a good team, Chelsea.
Like Chelsea?
I don't like them. No, I don't like them as a club. No, I'm not a big fan of Chelsea.
Ruffy?
I like the strip. I like the colour of the strip.
Oh, do you? All right, okay.
What's the maximum Stamford Bridge? What's their stadium capacity?
I don't know.
Doesn't
Tell
look
us.
that big.
We give in. What is
No,
it?
it doesn't look that big.
40?
Why have they not got a big stadium with all the money they've got?
Well, I don't think they're worrying about it. In that area alone, every time you've got an owner who's a billionaire, then you're A-OK. And I think from Abramovich to Ted Boley, they're doing okay.
Go for 41,000. You're googling it now, aren't you?
Well, I have, of course, because I want to give him the answer. 40,000. Wow, that's not great, is it? 40,000. Wonder what the season ticket is. Must be expensive, by the way. It'll be up there with Arsenal for season tickets. Wednesday night, which is tonight, Bayern Munich are 1-0 up in PSG. Are they going through, Ruffy? Your side. Well, Neymar's out for the rest of the season.
I'm not really worried about him.
Oh, is that right?
I think
He's possibly one of the world's best players.
The other two can I prefer the other two to him.
To him, yeah.
But I really think that
we're in one of those modes that I don't like them, and I certainly don't like him.
No, I think when you get the two in your team, that's always capable.
I'm not a Neymar fan.
I think he's a tremendous player, but I don't. Just comes across as a. Do I smash him? I know Scott Brown wanted to smash him, but couldn't get near him.
Yeah, so did Anthony Ralston.
But Bayern will beat them comfortably.
Yeah,
comfortably.
Okay, Tottenham, Milan.
I hope Tottenham won.
I fancy Tottenham strongly.
Yeah, so do I
fancy Tottenham strongly.
I'd like to see Tottenham. Interestingly enough, there's a wee story if they don't win tonight and they don't get top four, then Man United will definitely be in the box seat to sign them. That's an interesting one, isn't it? Goodbye Weghorst.
I mean, it's
that's what happens when you touch the Anfield. This is
he's in a dilemma, Harry Kane. If he's going to move, he's got to do it now. He's in the peak of his career.
Yeah,
he's not going to win anything at Tottenham. Let's be honest, he's not going to win anything. It's substantial. He needs to go to a Man United or a Liverpool or a Real Madrid or a Barcelona, Bayern Munich, all the big clubs that are in contention. But Spurs are just no. Or it just becomes another Matt Le Tissier or Alan Shearer.
I think he's been quite honourable, because I think after the World Cup he could have went, and somebody said a word with him and said, "Look, we really need you here. How do you fancy staying in a year?" He said, "Aye." So I think he's one of these players that have got a condition that you're away after this year.
Okay, they need to try and overturn that 1-goal deficit. Antonio Conte's back in the dugout and relishing the pressure.
We live with this type of game. We live with this for this moment, okay? And because when the pressure is going up, it means that your level is going up.
The best hair transplant ever.
Yeah, of all time.
Of all time.
Yeah,
of all time.
It looks magnificent.
You need to see his Panini sticker book.
Yeah,
his Panini sticker when he was about 25, he was bald as a coot, and he looks magnificent there.
Well, fair play to him, by the way. There's
whoever done his is world class.
There's been a few.
You take them off at night.
You do. You just leave it on the side table.
It looks a bit toupee, doesn't it?
If you hadn't the mullet, Ruffy, would you have got that? And you had a good head of hair for the perm as well.
Would you have got a wig?
Would you have got a wig?
No, I don't think so.
No?
Because at my age, we need wigs with the staples and that.
we've had a few on the show, haven't we? We've had a few, yeah, we've had one or two who you're not allowed to mention it to as per the terms of the contract. So here's a line, a couple of things I want to talk to you guys before we go. Brendan Rodgers, he's up against it because they're 2 points off the bottom end now of relegation. The club's just announced that pre-tax loss of nearly 100 million. They're not spending the big bucks, and Brendan suddenly is really up against it. They haven't been able to bring in the players that he certainly wanted to bring in. Leicester are in trouble now.
Yeah, they are. They just can't get away for that, bottom 2 or 3, and they're right in the mix to get relegated. And Brendan's not usually down there. He's usually at the top end of the table, challenging for titles and whatever. So it'll be interesting to see how he copes with that. But I would want Leicester to stay up. I think they're a good club and their training ground's out of this world. I think that's probably why they're posting a loss, because they've obviously built that. But no, I think that they're in big trouble. He needs to get a few results. I don't know if they get the character and the grit and the know how to get out of a relegation battle. I wouldn't be so sure.
Yeah, we're waiting to find out. Okay, you know what day it is today, Ruffy? It's International Women's Day. So I thought to myself, I wonder if you could even name the top 5 female footballers of all time. It's a belter of a question, isn't it?
The top female. We're not talking our Scottish one.
No.
I'll give you 2. I've got 2.
You get 2?
No,
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I know who you're talking about.
Let's give Ruffy a chance.
I couldn't pronounce their names. One of them Spanish. I know she's. I don't know their names.
Right. So you
and there'll be a couple of lionesses in there as well.
Right. Okay. So you're way off it.
Right, Marta.
The Brazilian.
Brazil.
Yes.
Abby Wambach.
Top 10, not top 5.
She's top 5. She's top 5 of all time. She is. Abby Wambach. Look her up. She was top scorer at Christy Sinclair, Canadian. 3.
Yeah.
Who was a last
I don't think any of them are on
No,
his list.
2 of them are not on the list.
Not on the list.
He just what he does is he does that classic.
Christy Sinclair and Abby Wambach are the 2 of the top goal scorers of all time in women's football.
Listen, can I just say something to you? Just because you shout doesn't mean it's fact. The top 5 female footballers of all time, Sun Wen, 106 goals and 163 caps, the Chinese player. Michelle Ackers, 105 goals and 156. She's at number 4. Birgit Prinz from Germany, 128 goals and 214 caps. And by the way, they're domestic. These women have won
Caps.
not only caps, trophies. Mia Hamm, 158 goals in 276 games, and Marta, rightly pointed out by your man, 115 goals, and she scored 5 goals at consecutive World Cups, and she was a really, really skillful player.
Should have been there.
Yeah, okay. That's our competition for next week.
I think Abby Wambach scored 200 goals for USA.
Yes.
Can somebody please on the feed quickly Google that?
Okay, she's not in it, right? Shut it. So
I met her as well.
Yeah. I knew there was an angle. There had to be an angle. Just before we go, Ruffy, I was thinking about it. If that's the top 5 footballers, who's the top 5 women in sport? I've just written down 5. Just right out of left field.
One of them, the English cricket player, Rachel somebody. Name I can't remember. She's got to be in it.
Yeah.
She's a legend.
Serena Williams.
Serena Williams, yeah, definitely.
Mary Peters. The Northern Ireland.
The Northern Ireland.
The Northern Ireland pentathlon. She was the first woman who brought women's sport to the world.
No, she wasn't. Don't be so stupid. You've just said a sentence. No, you haven't. No,
so it's Mary Peters.
Billie Jean King.
Yes.
I thought she
Kathy
did a
Freeman,
lot.
runner. She was good. Australian.
Yep, absolutely. Serena Williams, Martina Navratilova, Jackie Joyner-Kersee, 6 medals at the Olympics.
USA.
Yep. Ronda Rousey, would you put her in?
Is that the UFC?
Yeah.
Oh, I hate UFC.
No? Okay.
Next.
Simone Biles, the gymnast, the little gymnast from America, phenomenal.
Oh, who was the Romanian? Who was the Romanian?
Nadia Comaneci. And then Olga Korbut was the Russian. And then Megan Rapinoe, the American footballer, who they've done a lot of work.
Julie Fleet.
Well, certainly here, Julie Fleet is an absolute shoe-in. Well done, Ruffy. Excellent. But it was on the world stage. But it's interesting. It's International Women's Day. Somebody did say to us, no, the office says there's such a thing as an International Men's Day.
Is there? There isn't it?
I think they're going to try and come up with one. That will be a belter of a day, won't it? I think we will all have the day off. Move on. nothing wrong with having a holiday for International Men's Day. Ruffy, would you?
Yeah, brilliant. I'll get a day off the Hoover.
Yep.
Oh no.
He's mental. Anyway, apart from anything else, here's the competition for you.
PLZ Soccer has another fantastic competition for you to enter. For your chances to win this Legia Warsaw Arthur Boric hoodie and the Legia Warsaw pendant, all you have to do is answer this simple question. Which year did Arthur Boric sign for Celtic? Post your answer in the comment section below, and to double your chances of winning, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and join us on PLZ Soccer's YouTube channel. Good luck.
Yeah, good luck with that. Thanks to Kerry. Kerry will be out there tonight at the game. I'll be obviously across social media as well with Adam, and we're bringing you all the latest team news and of course half-time and full-time reports across PLZ Soccer's social media tonight. Don't forget to download the app. We posed you a question at the top of the programme. Which team has the most red cards in Champions League history? Well, for all the club facts about every honour and everything that's been achieved throughout, top goal scorers, most games, most cups, the lot, Real Madrid are at the top in everything apart from one category,
red cards,
which is red cards. And you should have stuck by what you said at the start.
Barcelona.
It was an Italian club.
Oh, one of the
AC Milan.
Juventus, yeah. 28 red cards.
I've just noticed the socks you've got on, Peter.
Yeah, do you not like them?
The Mandalorian.
Yes. Well, I got a box of Star Wars socks from my wife, and I thought, well, roll on. I'm going to fire them on. There's nothing you can do about it. Your socks are socks.
What part is that? Star Wars.
Oh, it's later on. It's now about Jack. What's his name? I can't even remember.
Jaja Binks.
No. Jaja Binks. No, it's not even worth mentioning anyway. Apart from anything else, they are embarrassing. But I'm putting on a pair of long trousers and long johns for tonight because Celtic Park's going to be absolutely freezing. Listen, I hope you enjoyed the show, the banter, of course, the opinion, of course, engaging with us. Thanks to everyone who has put on so many different points of view. Some we get the chance to read out. Hit the subscribe button on PLZ Soccer's YouTube channel. From Tam, Ruffy and myself, Peter Martin. Thanks for watching.